Forward Live, and this is my podcast where I talk about real solutions to real problems, real situations that people face. Because if I can help you put tools in your toolbox to help you navigate the situations and circumstances that you encounter on a daily basis, then I'm doing something to add value to you. And so, um, want to give it a minute or two just to let everybody come on. And I know that this is football Sunday. I may be interrupting y'all's games, and I apologize for that. Well, I'm not really, but anyway, um, I'm hoping that everybody had a great week, and I'm hoping that everybody's planning on having a great week in the week to come. Um, I'm really excited though that a lot of what was expected from last week's elections didn't come to pass, that the quote unquote red wave didn't happen. And I talked about that last Sunday because honestly, we were really at a crossroads and the entire American experiment was at stake. But I digress. Let me go ahead and get into the meat of the matter here. So once again, this podcast is to help people navigate situations and circumstances in their life, and where I try to provide real solutions to these situations and circumstances, so that you have tools in your toolbox by which you can apply these things to better your life. And in doing that, I add value to you. And that is really the crux of what we're talking about today, because um, I'm a firm believer in doing what you love. Now, I had a situation this week. My second to youngest son, some of y'all may know Ducey from his podcasts and some of his interviews that he's done on Facebook Live. Um, but Ducey has a job. He has a part-time job, but this is in addition to all of the other things that he's doing. He does website design, he does graphic arts, he does modeling, he does music production, and all of these other things. But the thing is that this job was a means by which he could put some immediate money in his pocket. And he makes good money doing the other things, but the cash flow is kind of sporadic. And so having a job would help level out his cash flow. But he discovered something in the course of doing this work that really wasn't his thing. And one of the things that I've told my kids, all of them, that if you do what you love for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. And I'm going to tell you, if your life is like a vacation, if it's like your ideal situation, then you're not working. You're basically you're doing something that adds value to humanity, while at the same time doing what you love, and you're at rest even when you're working. And here's the thing, a lot of us get caught up in what we have to do when we should be doing what we want to do, what we love to do. And I can't stress that enough. How many of you right now, and you can do it with hearts or whatever, but how many of you are doing what you love right now? How many of you are doing what you love, not working for a living, not working for a paycheck, but actually where listen, when you get up in the morning, how many of you get up every day looking forward to what you're doing, knowing that what you're about to do is not only going to add value to humanity, but it's going to actually add value to you, that it's going to edify you, that it's going to encourage you? How many of you are in that situation? I mean, I really want to know. Uh, because here's the thing, like with me, I have a fantastic career. I have really accomplished a lot in my profession. But when I look back at it, it was never what I wanted to do. It was something that I tapped into because there was significant money to be made at this. I understood the scarcity of resources like myself, and I tapped into that as a means of uh, establishing a nice threshold of living for myself and for my family. But it was never what I wanted to do. And so at a certain point, this is going to happen to everyone. At a certain point, you are going to reach the intersection of what you have to do and what you want to do, and you're going to have to determine whether or not or which direction you're going to take. Are you going to continue on the path of what you have to do, or are you going to embark on the path of what you love? And another thing that I've told my sons is that the people who solve problems for humanity get paid, but the people who solve their own problems, they get peace. And peace is greater than profit. Because see, here's the thing. There are many times when you can have profit, and that profit comes with confusion, it comes with difficulty, it comes with adversity. But when you are at peace, there is nothing more significant, nothing more important, nothing that is more essential to your own human condition than you being at peace. Now, again, when you solve problems, you get paid. That's the story of Microsoft, right? Microsoft had they saw a problem that basically that the world would be better if every home had a computer. And so the driver for this was the software that was needed to make the computer practical, which again would drive processing power and drive further miniaturization down and more uh, developing economies of scale for like memory and for storage. And that's fine. But what people miss is that Bill Gates was doing something for his own peace of mind, because what he was doing was solving a problem for humanity, but at the same time, it was something that gave him peace. And you're going to find something that when you find people who have basically built wealth, and not to say that I've talked about the self-made man, the American exceptionalist. It doesn't really exist. I mean, everybody has help, everybody, and some people have more help than others. But when you look at people who have built something that didn't exist before, those are the people that have peace, because they've actually created something. They put something in place that didn't exist before. And in doing so, they they also gain a profit. See, here's the thing, that when you are at peace, you're free to develop, you're free to imagine, you're free to create. It's hard to do these things under duress. Under duress, all you can do is drone. All you can do is just work, and you become a productive asset and not a creative source. So, what we want to do is we want to get to the point where we are at peace. And that's another thing, is that a lot of us are at conflict with ourselves. Many of us don't even know ourselves well enough to know what it is that gives us peace. And so part of this exercise is just to learn yourself, get to know yourself, get to the point where you are no longer at conflict with yourself. And don't get me wrong, the human condition is such that you will always have some internal conflict. It's not always going to be sweetness and light. However, you can mitigate the degree and the amount of conflict that you have internally by finding your own place of peace. And how do you find that place of peace? You find the things that give you joy. And when I talk about joy, I used to say this when I was preaching. I'd say that that happiness is conditional, but joy is positional. And I still believe that to a degree, but I believe it differently because happiness is conditional. If you have money in the bank, you're happy. If everything's going right with your family, you're with your community, everything is going well, you can be happy because things are going your way. But what happens is when things are not going your way, when things are not going according to the cadence that you'd like them to go, do you give up? Do you get angry? Do you increase the conflict within? Or do you remind yourself that there is something else that is in you, something else that you're doing, something else that you're contributing to, that's creating this peace in you, that creates this joy in you, which means that this joy is yours whether your conditions are ideal or not. That's a powerful, powerful statement. When you are able to be at peace, even though the prevailing conditions around you are not conducive to what would create happiness for you, you're at a place of joy and a place of peace. And from there, that means that even under adversity, you can create, you can be inspired, you can imagine. And that's the thing. We want to get to that point where we are at peace and not chasing money. In other words, I mean, you write this down. Peace is greater than profit. Now, here's another thing is that if you're not doing what you love, it could be injurious to you, harmful to you, hurtful to you, mentally and emotionally, because we really have an innate need to do what we love. And if you're not doing what you love, then you could be harming yourself in the long run. And so that brings me to another point. If you're not doing what you love right now, find out what you can be doing to do what you love, at least on a part-time basis. Because see, here's the thing, a part-time joy is better than no joy at all. And you can actually be working toward a goal of being involved in something that you love while you're doing what you have to do. That's my story. You see, things like this, like the podcast, I love doing this. I absolutely love talking to people. I absolutely love sharing stories. I absolutely love imparting wisdom or imparting knowledge. I love this. This is my lane. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I absolutely love to do. But I have to do what I have to do. I have to do my career in order to pay the bills. Now, if I work this properly, then there will come a day where I will not have to do what I have to do anymore. I'll be free to do what I love to do on a full time basis. And I really believe, this is me, that when I get to that point where I'm able to do what it is that I love to do instead of what I have to do, I think that I will actually do better financially than what I'm doing now. And that's a very heavy lift. That's a very heavy lift. But what'll happen is that once I get into the position where I'm doing what I love to do, then I'm free to create. I'm free to be inspired, and I'm free to inspire others and to help others. See, that's the other thing too, is that when you do what you love, you know that it's something great than when you're doing what you love actually helps other people do what they love. See, this is the thing. I think that we miss the whole point of human connectedness by creating competition. And people who are into capitalism, they'll tell you that the competition is good, but I don't think that it necessarily is. I think that when we are more collaborative instead of competitive, that we are all better. Humanity as a whole is better when we collaborate. So when you find out what it is that you love to do and you begin to do it and you see that this thing that you love to do also helps others, you'll see that, I mean, this is that it's a perfect storm in your life, and it's a perfect storm of good. Or let me say, let me change that phrase. Not a perfect storm. Let's say it's the perfect sunny day. Not too hot, not too cool, not rainy, not overcast, but just the perfect sunny day. That's what you're looking for. And watch this. And I said this before, that if you do what you love to do, and you make what you love to do what you have to do, then you'll do it with joy. And this is the thing, what I try to tell young people. Me, I'm 60 years old, and but I still believe that there's a lot more in me, in terms of what I can contribute to humanity. But this is really for the young people. If you're under 40, you still have more runway ahead of you than you have behind you. And you have an opportunity to do the things that you love. But what you have to do is you have to draw a line in the sand, basically, and say, I'm not going any further with this that I have to do, but now I'm going to dedicate all of my life, my resources, my very being to doing what it is that I love to do. And when I do that, then I'll find that Zen zone. And here's the other thing too, is that when you are doing what you love to do, you will not only solve problems for yourself, which gives you internal peace, but you're going to help people solve problems externally. And that's a beautiful thing. That's the Zen zone. That's where we want to get to. So what I want to challenge each one of you to do is, um, you may have a job, you may have a 9 to 5, or shift work, or whatever it is that you do. But I'm going to challenge you to setting aside at least 30 minutes, just a half an hour out of every day, to doing whatever it is that you love to do. And if you don't know what it is that you love to do because you really haven't sourced this out in yourself, then spend 30 minutes every day learning about what you love, getting to know you, because you're the one person that you're going to spend the most time with throughout the course of your life. So it just makes sense that you get to know this person and come to love this person. Because once you do that, you're going to get excited about what this person wants to do. See, that's the other thing too, is that when you love what you do, or let me say this, when you love yourself, you're going to fall in love whatever it is that you want to do. And because you've learned to love yourself and learn what you love to do, you're going to learn how to love others and to love the things that they want to do. And you'll become a cheerleader or a coach, possibly, to the people who are trying to do what it is that they want to do. They're going to emulate you because listen, people say misery loves company, but I think that joy loves company even more. And the thing is that if you can help others find the joy that you do, man, that is just absolutely exciting. That is like, listen, talking about Zen zones, this is going to get you there. This is going to help you. Now, again, what you want to do is you want to learn, and here's another thing that'll help you. I just thought about this, that if you learn to love what you're doing while you're waiting to do what you love, you will be better at what you're doing. And you, because you get better at what you're doing, that will accelerate your path to what it is that you love to do, and it'll shorten the distance between where you are and where you want to be. If you can't be where you want to be, then learn to love where you are. Learn to love your right now. Learn to love what's in your immediate sphere of activity. And it may be what you do, it might be complete drudgery. It might be mentally draining. It might be physically draining. But guess what? If you can illustrate or manifest some love for this, then what's going to happen is that the people who you do it for, they're going to see that and they're going to say, man, this guy's really, or this gal's really excited about what he's doing for us. And then that you get promoted, you get paid. And one of the things that I say this too is that what money buys is use of your time. Money itself does not buy happiness, although people who are broke are generally less happy, and there's some science to that. But if you have money, the more money you have, the more control over your time you have. And once you have control over your time, then you can allocate more time to what it is that you love to do. And I'm going to tell you something that's absolutely exciting. That is absolutely motivating because, again, you want to be in a position where you can do what it is that you love to do. And I know some people out here that are fantastic writers and they produce wonderful art and they do all kinds of crafts and things like that. And when you look at that, you can see the love in what they do. But they have jobs, they have 9 to 5s, right? But on the flip side of that, there's a social media influencer that I absolutely love, and her name is Claire Somners, and you can look her up. But Claire is a fashionista. She was I think once an associate editor for Vogue magazine. But she's all about this life of fashion, and she's built a brand around this. And so what she's doing is making her a ton of money. But if you look at her Instagram or even look at her Facebook stories, you'll see that Claire absolutely never works because she's doing what she loves. She is absolutely doing what she loves. Or, my one of the guests that Aaron and I had on Freeology Friday, Sean Rivera. Sean is a musician. He's a singer, and so he's not singing with the group that he started off with anymore. But he's helping to produce other acts, and he also has other projects. But because he actually loves music, this is the thing. Sean is never going to be he's not going to do any cashier work or any software engineering or anything like that because he's in a position where he's doing what he loves on a day-to-day basis. And I can't tell you how important that is. So find that thing, and it may require some soul searching, some internalization, where you're looking within for an answer. But once you find it, get to know yourself, and then you'll get to know what you love. Because it's just like how you do things with relationships with others. When you get to know people, you get to know what it is they love. So if you get to know you get to know what you love, and when you get to know what you love, then you begin to do what you love. Does that make sense? I hope all of that works for you. And I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now because I'm like just really hyped up. I'm really excited. And here's the other thing too. I want to hear your success stories. I want to hear what it is that you're doing. What do you love? And share that with me in the comments or inbox me, because not only do I want to hear it, if I can help, I want to help. If I can connect you with someone that I know that would help you, I would absolutely love to, because I want to see you do what it is that you're what is the tongue tied. I want to see you do what it is that you love. Because if you're doing this and I'm doing this and we're all doing what it is that we love, we don't have time to argue. We don't have time to fight. We don't have time for conflict. We don't have conflict within ourselves. We actually begin to help each other increase our individual peace, which will increase our corporate peace. And by corporate, I'm not talking about corporations. I'm talking about people, I'm talking about humanity. So I'm gonna turn to the comments real quick, and then also I want to put our our link into the chat, because if you want to join in, I would love to have you join in. So there's the comments there, and I need to do this also on Facebook, because for some reason Restream doesn't, when you put the link in the chat, it doesn't go to every channel. So I'm gonna put this here. If you guys bear with me for just a minute. But I'm really hoping that somebody gets encouraged by this, that you get fired up by this, and that you say, man, I'm going to do what it is that I love to do. I'm going to dedicate some time, I'm going to dedicate some effort, I'm going to dedicate some resources into doing this thing that I love to do. And again, I want to hear about your progress. I want to hear your success story, because I think that this will just be absolutely fucking amazing. So, um, so once again, I'm putting the link in the chat, and so if anybody wants to join in, give it a minute or two, and if you want to join in, then we can do that. Otherwise, let's see. Uh, let's see. Someone E Hughes on YouTube is saying, "Thank you, sir. Excellent. I love eccentrics and reading. Brings me joy. That is awesome." Ben Urban, my friend, my brother, he says, "Dude, this is fire. Thank you." And you know, I hope that it is. I hope that it encourages you. And Ben, listen, you need to be sitting down in front of a computer at least 30 minutes a day, maybe an hour a day, and writing that book. I mean, you have so many awesome musings that you share on a daily basis, and you spend some time writing those. I know that that's not just maybe it is just spontaneous, and if it is, that's great. But dude, start doing your thing. And Ben says joy is equally as contagious as misery. You are goddamn right there, man. Absolutely. Run for that Zen zone. Ben said, yes, 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 yes. And to be completely autonomous regarding your time and energy, that is the holy grail. So it looks like nobody wants to join in, and that's okay, because hey, it's Sunday, we're all in our pajamas, and just kind of chilling out. Or some people are camera shy, and I get that too. Not everybody can get on and just do these things all the time, but this is my thing. This is my Zen zone. This is my happy place. This is my place of joy. And so it gives me great joy to be able to share these things with you. So until the next time, be sure to check out on Thursdays. We have Atheist Thursdays, and I got an exciting guest this Thursday, as I always have. I'm going to try to have a guest every Thursday, because I want to give voice to the atheist community. I think it's an underserved and underrepresented community, but I think that there are more people that are falling into that path than ever before. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to give that voice. And then also, don't forget about Freeology Friday, where myself and Aaron Tomlinson, we get together and we talk about things, like last week or Friday, we talked about the difference between feelings and emotions. And it turned out to be an absolutely amazing episode. And so if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. And I promise you that is going to give you some encouragement as well. So that's all I have. So until the next time, as Aaron likes to say, peace and hair grease. Talk to y'all later.